Hi, gotta say, haven't played League of Legends in a while, about 2 years, but I still feel pretty connected to the Runeterra characters and the universe. Hell, some might have recognized that the emotes that I use come from Legends of Runeterra. So, despite my disdain for the flagship title, I was still very excited to learn about and eventually play Riot's fighting game. I'll cut it a bit short. The game itself looks amazing and I really can't wait. But holy shit, does the name kinda suck. Yes, I know this isn't the first time you've heard of this. Hell, it's kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but I just couldn't get this thought out of my head. Nevertheless, I don't want to just say that I don't like the name and call it a day. I want to try to explain why I think it sucks and how they could change it to be something a bit more exciting. I'm going to list my reasons in no particular order, but I am going to start with the one that annoys me the most personally, and it's the fact that I find the name very clunky to pronounce in Spanish. Like I've mentioned in another video, I'm Mexican, so when I first saw the title, I pronounced it as 2XKO. It's not hard to say per se, but it doesn't really roll off the tongue. Now, to be fair, I could just pronounce it as El 2XKO, but it sounds pretty weird if I say it like that, and I wonder if other languages have this issue. The second thing is that it's rather ambiguous in nature. What do I mean? That if you don't know about fighting games, this title just makes no sense. Don't get me wrong, other fighting game IPs are also kinda whack with their names. Guilty Gear, Blast Blue, Melty Blood. They don't quite tell you that they are fighting games from their title alone, but they do at least roll off the tongue a lot more than 2XKO. And honestly, they sound cooler. Meanwhile, Riot's game sounds almost like part of a Steam gift card code. On top of that, many other fighting game franchises do have names that tell you what it's all about, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters, Super Smash Bros., or even Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. If they wanted to barely change the name, but I feel like making it slightly better, I think they should just call it Double Knockout. It would mean the same thing, essentially, and it still wouldn't be the best, but I feel like it'd be an improvement, and it would also just make the whole thing easier to translate. The final thing is that I don't think this name really makes a good job of communicating what makes this particular game special. There have been plenty of other tag team fighters in history, like Marvel vs. Capcom or Dragon Ball FighterZ, yet they weren't called 3XKO. Because that wasn't what made those games unique. I mean, yes, it clearly was the IPs, and I know that the developers have stated that they don't want this game to just be the League of Legends fighter, so I understand why the name doesn't make use of that, but this almost feels like a placeholder? Like something that you would use internally within the development team to describe the game, more so than something that you would show off to the public. I feel like there are aspects of this game that are unique enough that the developers could target and make use of in order to create a much more interesting name. Now, personally, I struggle a lot to make titles for my videos, and I know it's not in the same vein, but I do empathize with the difficulty of making something sound appealing. I don't have any great answers. Hell, given how much the name seems to be baked into the UI, I doubt it'll ever change. But I still feel like there is an opportunity here to have a name that just resonates with the player base, or at least the fighting game community a lot more, than something that is fine, but not exciting. And that's a shame, because every time I look at gameplay, I'm excited, but whenever I see the name, I lose some of that. And I don't like that. I don't like that effect. And that's what I want to change. But that's just my opinion. So having said all that, thanks for watching. Honestly, I wasn't expecting Braum to get into the base roster, but he looks so fucking cool.